New developments in the fatal stabbing of New Jersey mother Brooke Hanlon. Authorities tell us her husband has now hired a lawyer. Investigators confirmed they have been in ongoing communication with Connor Hanlon. Brian Yanis has more on what we are learning now. Brian?
Sandra, when Fox News Digital asked investigators whether Connor Hanlon has been cooperative throughout the investigation of his wife's murder, authorities chose not to comment. The Morris County Prosecutor's Office Major Crimes Unit says Hanlon has been communicating with investigators, but the 36-year-old has not made any public comments since his wife, Brooke Hanlon's murder on June 6, more than a month ago. Hanlon has hired a lawyer, but he has not been accused of any wrongdoing. He has no criminal history. Brooke was stabbed to death multiple times in the couple's home on a Saturday afternoon. A dispatch log obtained by Fox shows a 911 call was made at 4:29 p.m. and was logged as a suspicious death 13 minutes later. The call was made by an unknown person at the Hanlon home, which is located on a fairly isolated back road. Brooke was a new mom. She just had a daughter a year ago. Brooke's sister says the child is now staying with family. The 35-year-old mom was a licensed psychotherapist who worked with children, adolescents, and families. The community is shocked.
Lots of people walk downtown. Lots of people walk on the hiking trails. I mean, you know, most people think the biggest threat is a bear, not, you know, somebody breaking into a house or whatever happened. So, yeah, I would like to see a resolution.
No, it's very bizarre. Like, where was the husband? Where's the baby? You know, pretty much the same questions I think everybody has.
Investigators have interviewed several family members. More than a month later, there are still no arrests, no suspects, and no known persons of interest. Anyone with information should contact police at copcall.org. Sandra?
Got it. Brian Yanis, thank you.
Bill Daly, former FBI investigator. Bill, welcome to the program, and good to see you. A bit of a timeline. Good to be with you, Bill. Today's July 9th, all right? Go back to June 6th. On screen, emergency responders are called to Hanlon's home, Chester, New Jersey, due west of New York City, around 4:30 in the afternoon. About a week later, cause of death ruled as multiple sharp force injuries and manner of death, a homicide. End of June, public officials confirmed the victim was Brooke Hanlon. I don't know why it took that long. Maybe there's a reason for that. Then he got a $1,000 reward out there. Go ahead and piece this together, Bill, and then I'll ask you more about the family.
Yeah, Bill, certainly for all of us kind of doing it from the armchair and kind of analysis side, there certainly seems to be kind of a mystery to this. However, I do believe that prosecutors and police have a lot more in the way of forensic evidence to be able to piece this case together. I mean, as you just said, there was this 911 call. Certainly, if that was made by someone in the home, perhaps even the husband, they can do some voice analysis comparison to see whether or not that's him who made the call, whether he was there when they arrived. A lot of questions out there, Bill, that we don't know. However, we do know that she was a therapist, was just mentioned by your reporter, which does kind of complicate things because, you know, as we know, in cases like this, Bill, we've discussed them in the past when people are stabbed or assaulted very up close and personal like this, is sometimes it's a family member or someone who knows them very personally. And in this case, because she was a therapist, it could broaden out that horizon of potential suspects to those people who she had contact with in her profession.
Okay, so Bill, the husband is James Connor Hanlon, all right? And apparently Fox Digital talked to one of the neighbors yesterday. He's got his phone number, and apparently several weeks ago, this is what the neighbor said. He said, I saw a lot of cops out there that Saturday, talking about early June now. I texted him saying, hey man, I saw the police at your house. If you guys need anything, let me know. He never responded after that. It's my understanding that we don't know who made the 911 call from inside the house. I think you just referred to that. Is that normal?
Yeah, we don't. It is certainly not normal. And as we do know from 911 calls, both the voices collected as well as other data around that with regard to what phone was used, perhaps, you know, location of the phone, just in case first responders need to go to that location if they get cut off from whoever's making the call. So I would imagine that police, and going back to my supposition here, is that they have a lot more information about the call, about the caller, about the forensics at the scene that they're using. I think they've reached out to the public, Bill, just to kind of ensure that there's no other kind of dangling participles out there that they need to kind of pull together in this investigation. I'm confident with this prosecutor and the police office out there, the sheriff and the police department, that they're able to handle it. Now, they may need to draw some forensic support from the state police or even from the FBI to do some very technical analysis, whether it happens to be at the crime scene with either DNA, blood splatters, those type of things, but it may also be cellular analysis. Now, your reporter did mention that this is kind of a rural area. I did kind of a map view, a satellite map view, as well as kind of a street view virtually, and it is kind of quite remote between homes out there. That may actually work in the favor of understanding what phones were in the area, what movement there was in the area that could either rule in or rule out individuals.
So her young daughter is now being cared for by the family, and the police would not say whether or not that included the father. It's intriguing. Bill Daly, thanks for coming on and trying to piece it together for us today. Good to see you, Bill. Thanks.
Welcome, Bill.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.